So don't let them steal your life.
Thought I'd get into this today. It's not clickbait either, like some of my other videos lately. The number one reason that feminists will give for why women are better than men is the number one reason why feminists shouldn't run companies and shouldn't be in military and shouldn't do a lot of things, and that's empathy. And I'll leave a bunch of stuff if you want to, before you even watch this video, if you want to go into the description section below and read the articles and the topics that I've put in there so that you can research what I'm talking about. There's a really cool guy that's done a lot of research on this as well, and his name is Paul Bloom, and he's getting ready to do a book on the empathy, and I don't think he's going to touch on this section of it because of course most people don't take that extra step of showing it where it really needs to be shown. And you know, when you look at like empathy, and I've got notes, bunch of notes, you know, so I'm going to try to like keep this on topic so I don't get too crazy on it. But the empathy is like basically narcissism. When you look at men in the military, you can't really have any empathy. You know, that's not what it's about. You need to kind of take care of business, do what needs to be done. If you're in the government, if you're in a company, you really can't think in an empathetic way. Most people talk about if you're a boss of a company, you have to be kind of a hard ass, you know. There's no room for empathy. Yeah. So I'd say that the biggest reason that women aren't good in positions of power is because they're empathetic to a fault. And it's nothing more than virtue signaling, you know. And what that means is basically, if say you have like $1,000 and you're going to give it to a charity or something that you appreciate, but you have several different things that you can give that $1,000 to. Now, a man has no empathy. He thinks all of the charities are equally good, and he will think which one will do the most power, which one will accomplish the most, or which one does he want to donate to the most. And then he'll take his $1,000 and give him to that. In a woman's case, she's trying to help, but she also wants to feel good about it. So her feelings are involved in it, her empathy. And what she'll do is, instead of taking the $10,000, she'll give all of these places $20, not noticing that maybe there's a $15 fee to process the money through a bank. But because she's given all of the charities $20, she feels good about herself, when really she hasn't helped them much at all. And this is a big problem. This is basically just people saying, like, I had $1,000, I helped out like 30 different things, but really she didn't help them out much at all. You know, she would have helped them more out if she would have just said, I gave my money to, you know, I gave $1,000 to the children's hospital, you know, or something for cancer research, you know, something like that, you know, just one thing. And that's why it's become in our society now that if you're a hard ass and you seem to be cold, that's a problem. That's bad. But in most cases, those people are better at running companies and getting things done because they're not empathetic. They're not going to let that rule them. You know, and when you see these things in like military, when people are in the military, women are in the military, you know, there's a lot of things that are overlooked. First of all, there's very few women, less than 1% of women, that could actually go through the military standards for men. And if you're going to be fighting in the military, on the front lines, you should have to go through the standards, the same standards that men have to go through to get the job. That's not the case. They don't have to do as many push-ups, they don't have to do as many sit-ups, they don't have to run as fast, they don't have to run as long. In many of the cases where they have a 50-50 military, with 50% of them being females, 50% being males, those ones are always slower. The women can't usually carry their packs, so the men end up carrying their pack and the other person's pack because there's a female on staff. The men become more empathetic because of the women, which makes them actually more dangerous in firefights because they're going to be more easily taken down because they're more empathetic. You know, all this stuff is basically just a house of cards waiting to fall down. So there's many reasons like this, and there's a saying called the warm glow altruist, which is basically they want to feel good. It's all about feels, you know, as MGTOW and herbivores will tell you, and most of the men's right activists, women love the feels. That's what it's all about nowadays, isn't it, guys? Feels. So, yeah, the altruism that they have towards feeling like they're doing something good when really they're not doing anything good. You know, it's kind of like the people who say they're supporting the troops, but all they've done to support the troops is buy like a little magnet, throw it on the back of their car, you know, and that's the only thing they do to support their troops besides walk around and tell people I support the troops. But they don't do anything to support the troops, actually support them. You know, they don't send like care packages to the military. You know, they don't send anybody money. You know, they don't actually do anything physically to help anybody. All they do is buy that little magnet and throw it on the back of their car, and then maybe put the American flag out in front of their house, buy a Walmart flag for $5 and hang it in front of their house, and then say I support the military. You know, and you know, this is this kind of warm glow altruism. Yeah, so that's what I thought I'd bring up today. I'm not going to go too much into it. You can look in the studies below and see what I'm talking about. I think I've made my point pretty clear in most of my videos that you've seen. If you look at Paul Bloom's video, there's a video that I'm going to put in the description below that goes to the website. He's writing a book on this topic, but like I say, he's not actually going to talk about the gender thing. He's not going to talk about female and male, and you know, a lot of these guys that do these kind of studies, they don't realize what implications can be had from their research, and that's what can be had from this research, and he's not going to bring that up, I guarantee that. So that's what I thought I'd talk about today. If you got any questions, comments, whatever, leave them in the section below. Thanks for watching, and peace.
So don't let them steal your life.